What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today I want to talk to you guys about several characters you all can plug and play into the Padme Amidala team that really makes it pretty good out there, and one character that absolutely shuts down the Empire counter that everybody's been freaking out about since Arnold's video came out yesterday. He had that video showing how Emperor Palpatine teams can easily defeat Padme teams, and people worry that means there's going to be a nerf for Emperor Palpatine again, just like we had with Malik. But I'm going to show you guys one Galactic Republic character you can plug in here that absolutely shuts down that Emperor Palpatine team and just doesn't prevent it from going, prevents the debuffs on the Padme team, also prevents the bonus turn meter very easily. So I'm going to start off with that character, and then I'm also going to show several other characters that you can plug in here, and then characters you know that you're not going to sacrifice for certain teams, like with Grandmaster Yoda. He works great with the Padme team, but you're sacrificing his viability with the Jedi Knight Revan team at the same time. So I'm going to cover other characters you guys can use that you're not going to plug into must-have teams anyways. These are other characters you can put into this Padme team that get a really good result. So let's go ahead and start with the Empire counter first. So the counter to the Emperor Palpatine teams is none other than C-3PO, which seems comical, but here it is. 3PO is able to easily counter the Palpatine teams because of his synergy with Galactic Republic. Intermediary, whenever Galactic Republic or Ewok ally gains a different non-unique, non-protection buff, they gain 15% protection up for 2 turns, does not stack with itself, and then stacks the translation, also give them bonus defense penetration. So what's going to happen here is when you're using Palpatine against Padme teams, you use Vader's AoE to obviously spread out the debuffs, and that gets the saber throw going, which dispels debuffs. But what happens here is that if Vader lands any critical hits at all with his AoE, at that point it puts crit immunity on that character, but also forces a taunt on General Kenobi. And what's going to happen here with 3PO is that taunt is going to put protection up on General Kenobi, which then makes him able to resist all debuffs placed on him. So because of that, he is able to not get any debuffs on him, and then you're left standing out there with... You're basically left up the creek without a paddle at that point, because you're not able to use Saber Throw on General Kenobi and get that bonus turn meter on the Empire team, and there's already protection up flying around on the enemy team. Padme is going to cleanse, which gives protection up to everybody. At that point, you really have no way of being able to land debuffs on the enemy team, and it very quickly tears apart the Emperor Palpatine team. So 3PO is the best counter to the Emperor Palpatine teams with Padme. You put him on there, it really does not allow the Palpatine team to work. It is a bit of an RNG fest where you're having to use the AoE with Vader and hoping that you don't land any critical hits, but it goes from a surefire counter to the Padme team to one that then you have to basically roll the dice and hope you don't land any critical hits, because if you do, you're basically screwed. You're not able to defeat that Padme team at that point. You can still get some damage in, and Imperial Probe Droid can use a self-destruct if you're so willing to use that, but overall, without that bonus turn meter at the start, the Palpatine team just does not go. Now, of course, C-3PO works well beyond that as well because of that defense penetration with his unique. He is able to give 40% to Galactic Republic allies with the 3 stacks of translation. So overall, he is a very, very strong character. The lots of defense penetration is really going to help boost Ahsoka's damage, and she gets a lot of assists anyways, so all that defense penetration on her would do really well for her. So next up, we have R2-D2, and he's actually a very suitable substitution to the Padme team if you don't have Grandmaster Yoda to use here. I talked about how if Grandmaster Yoda goes before Darth Revan, he can use the Bow Meditation, and that forces the pre-taunt on General Kenobi. And pretty much it's the same thing with R2-D2. Both Yoda and R2 have a higher base speed than Darth Revan. So if you can get comparable mods to what you see on the enemy Darth Revan, you can use that to smoke screen everybody and put stealth on them, and then have General Kenobi forced to basically taunt for your team at the start. So Darth Revan will use the shock and the insanity, and pretty much you won't be able to get debuffs on the rest of the team, though Bastila can still get some, but overall at that point, without the fear spreading to the entire team, it's very easy to beat those Darth Revan teams still. But also, you do have the unique for R2-D2 with Number Crunch, and if you have the Zeta on this, it really makes the Padme team hit really hard. And what's going to happen here is he gains plus 10% bonus offense for each Galactic Republic ally. With the Galactic Republic team, that's 50% bonus offense that stacks up on R2, and then he takes 10% of his max offense and spreads it back out to the Galactic Republic team. So for him, I have offense modded here on him right now, and he's sitting at 3,800 damage, plus another 50% because of the Galactic Republic team. So with this, he's able to get about 500 to 600 bonus offense out to your whole team with the number crunch Zeta. Overall, that is pretty impressive for him and allows the team to hit even harder. They do a lot of damage with courage stacks already, but now their base damage without courage is going to be amplified because of that bonus offense with R2-D2. And then of course, if you have the Zeta on combat analysis as well, it gives you another cleanse with the team, so you don't just have to rely on the critical hits with Ahsoka. So R2-D2, he's a very suitable substitution for the Grandmaster Yoda version of this team, allows you to use Yoda with Jedi Knight Revan, but also allows you, if you can get the comparable speed mods on him, to still be a solid counter to the Darth Revan teams as well. And then next up, we have Barriss Offee, and obviously the Zeta on Barriss is something you're going to have here. With the Zeta on her, she heals any allies who receive critical hits, and of course, it does kind of have a downside here because of the leadership Zeta on Padme. While they have protection up, they can't be critically hit or debuffed, but as soon as they lose that protection up, they're able to still get critical hits, and this is where the Zeta on Barriss kicks in, because at that point, your characters are a little bit weaker, they're easily able to get picked off, but the Zeta here allows her to keep them sustained, and this one works really well for Jedi Knight Revan teams, because her Zeta really helps prevent those teams from, really focusing down characters. They can still get a lot of bonus protection up because of a lot of assists with the Jedi Knight Revan team, but as soon as that protection up fades, they can get a lot of critical hits, and the Zeta on Barriss here really helps counter that. It's not going to save them if there's like a big hit from Grandmaster Yoda that does like 70,000 damage, because the Grandmaster Yoda can do that, but if in other circumstances or someone where they're constantly whittling down the character, if they land any critical hits with Barriss on there, it's just going to heal them up and really allows her to be a very sustainable character against your Jedi Knight Revan teams out there in Arena or Territory Wars or Grand Arena, anything like that. Barriss is a suitable counter for a Padme team against a Jedi Knight Revan team, and also any team that really relies on critical hits. If they're able to land those critical hits, they have to do a lot of damage to make sure that they counteract the healing from Barriss. So other teams like CLS could also really be countered by having Barriss on the team as well. So overall, Barriss is a very strong Galactic Republic character here. Plus, she's able to do a health equalization with Forced Healer that allows her to ignore healing immunity. They also gain defense up for 2 turns. Overall, she's a very strong healer here, and she can also cleanse any debuffs. So if debuffs do land on your team, she's able to cleanse it. That you won't get the bonus turn meter through her unique because of Padme, which is unfortunate, but the Zeta on her plus the constant healing from her and the cleanse on her unique anyways, it really all counters, it really all balances out, so it's not really a downside for her. It's a bit of a drawback for using her on the team, but overall, what she brings to the table with the healing and the cleanses and everything, it's just too powerful to ignore, so you can easily be able to bypass the bonus turn meter on her and really just bring her into the team and get a really solid healer that can make the team a lot more durable. And then finally, we have Aayla Secura. She's one of the weaker characters with the Padme team. She doesn't bring anything to the table that's super powered like R2, 3PO, or Zaris, but she does have some great synergy because of the Jedi on this team, and the combination of her unique and her basic really makes this team powerful. Her unique Superior Riposte gives her bonus crit chance, and counter damage. Whenever she lands a critical hit, she's able to stun the target for 1 turn. And her basic Inspiring Strike has a 35% chance to call an ally to assist. If that character is a Jedi, it then deals 50% more bonus damage with the bonus attack. So it works pretty well here, and you already have 3 Jedi on the team with Anakin, Ahsoka, and General Kenobi. It works. She's able to get a lot of bonus damage with this team, and the stuns with the team makes it a very powerful team to bring in. Now, like I said, you don't get a lot of bonus synergy here, but with the counter chance, if you're going to be fighting against an AoE heavy team, it allows her to stun a lot, plus call allies to assist. Overall, it's a very powerful kind of ability here with Aayla. It's one I really like using. It's not going to beat any of the high-end top teams like the Revan teams, but you're still able to get some really solid return with plugging Aayla into this team, again because of all the Jedi on the team and the stuns from her. with the stunts between her and Padme, you can easily shut down the enemy team if you're able to get a lot of assists with Aayla as well. And then you also have that where she can be called to assist if she has protection up or using the General Kenobi mass assist, at which point she can then call another assist on top of that from someone, which can then deal more damage. So she's great with that mass assist synergy as well. Overall, I really like Aayla for a team. It doesn't have a lot of that synergy like you see with the other characters I showed here, but she's still a very powerful character to throw on this team, so I highly recommend you guys trying her out in some combination with Padme. So those are 4 characters you guys can use with the Padme team, and honestly, there's more out there you guys could probably end up making work really well. One character I really want to try is Qui-Gon Jinn, but unfortunately, I only have Revans to face against an arena, and he doesn't really bring anything there that makes him super good for those kind of teams. So I can't do a lot of testing with Qui-Gon Jinn right now. Maybe in Territory Wars I can, but for now, I'll have to see if I can get some testing with him later on. And there's other characters like I'm a Gundai, could maybe find some use there. Plo Koon, he can't get that bonus turn meter with his special, so he's not going to work very well. There are some other characters I do want to try with the Galactic Republic team, but hopefully I'll be able to do that here sometime in the future. That is pretty much going to be it for the video today, guys. Let me know down in the comments what are the characters you guys think could work with the Padme team. What do you think about the 4 characters I showed here? I know some people are going to talk about C-3PO and how using him with Padme to shut down Emperor Palpatine then makes a CLS team less viable, which is honestly a suitable argument to bring to the table here. I just think that's interesting how 3PO pretty much shuts down the Emperor Palpatine team, and that's what I really wanted to show you guys with him. So let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? As always, guys, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching. I will talk to you guys later.